are. You are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy. My peace, my love.
This is Morgan Freeman. I know that many of you are wondering how soon you'll be able to hug your friends again, or visit your parents and grandparents without fear. I know that many of you are angered by the ongoing racism in our nation and worried about having a job to repay your student loans and afford the basic needs of life. It wasn't long ago that people were beaten and even killed to obtain the sacred power each of you have today, the power to vote. And right now, your vote is more critical than ever. This election is about you and me, your family and my family, our planet, and our democracy in its entirety. With our votes, we, the people, can begin to overwhelm the unjust political and economic systems that favor profits over people, and elect leaders who will take us forward. Brothers and sisters, go vote. Our lives, quite literally, depend on it.
Happy Sunday, beautiful people.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
We are happy to see you. We are happy to be here with you. Let us begin, as we always do, with prayer. And this morning, our prayer champion, Reverend Shauna, will lead us in prayer.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful people. Let's breathe in hope and breathe out harmony. Let's breathe in compassion and breathe out freedom. Let's experience the grace, the peace, the sacred connection to all of life right here and right now. I recognize the truth of what this thing I call God is. God is infinite supply. God is all love and compassion, all peace and harmony. It knows no obstacles. It is everywhere present. It is all knowing and all knowledge. It is beyond words and thoughts. There is only God and only good. It is within us, above us, around us, and under us. It lives in me and it lives in you. There is no separation in God. We are one with God. The divine in me acknowledges the divine in you. As I embrace my God presence, I embrace that our hearts are compassionately connected to all life, human, animal, environmental, inanimate, visible, and invisible. I know that God works through me. I am a vital instrument of the healing activity of God in the world. I am divine with unlimited love, wisdom, and power. When my eyes see a situation, a challenge, an obstacle, I know it is illusory. I go deeper and experience the divine order in all situations. And as God works through me, it works through each one of you, my brothers and sisters. You are imbued with divinity, with unlimited love, with unlimited wisdom, and with unlimited power. I recognize that we're one in spirit and all part of the God mind. We know that a community, a neighborhood, a borough, a city, a state, and our planet are made up of human beings who are 99.9% identical in our genetic makeup. We hold the highest consciousness for our nation, our elected officials, and our government today as always. We hold the truths that the United States was founded on, that all men and all women are created equal and endowed by Mother, Father, God with unalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unalienable rights means they cannot be taken away or denied from any person regardless. There is no us and them, there is only we. And we hold up the ideals of justice, mercy, equality, compassion, and harmony. We see the world as God created it, perfect, whole, and complete. No matter what our human eyes see, what difficulties may be perceived, all is a call for love. Love nurtures, heals, soothes, unites, and creates. We, as light workers, unwaveringly stand in love, shower love around us, bathe ourselves and others in the living water of love. We know that everything is for our good and that all is well. All is well, all is well, and all is very well. Today, I declare that we rejoice because this prayer has already been answered. We rejoice because we are praying from the realm of the answer. We rejoice because we are working with the law. I now release this word into the divine law that already knows what to do and how to do it, and declare that it is already done. So with total joy, expectation, and anticipation, I say amen, ashe, and so it is.
Amen, ashe, and so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. Well, it is so good to be back here again on a Sunday morning with each and every one of you to know and affirm and celebrate the truth as one family. Knowing that so many of you are connecting here from all over the world, all over the nation, we want to hear from you. And we want to know where you're connecting in. So it's very easy to let us know that. First of all, you can post in the comments and shout out where you're connecting from. But also, if you would like to stay in touch with us, we would like to stay in touch with you.
Yes, yes.
And so you can text the word welcome to the number that's not on the screen, but I will get it on the screen. There we go. This number that's on the screen, 347-472-1078. Text the word welcome to that number. Just the word welcome, no additional emojis, no signatures, and you will receive a prompt that will ask for your information. You enter that information and you're all set, you're locked in, and you'll get our weekly email, which comes out every Friday. And speaking of that, we have a few announcements, a few things that we would love to share with you and remind you about and let you know what's going on here at CSC. So the first reminder, you saw the video, powerful video from the NAACP and Morgan Freeman reminding us to vote and reminding us why it is important to vote. We shared that particular video because we know that as Black and brown people, we are unfortunately being targeted for voter suppression. Our vote is so powerful and matters so much that foreign nations are specifically trying to stop Black and brown people from going to the polls, specifically trying to tell Black and brown people that their vote doesn't matter, which tells me it does matter. Right.
So if you've seen any kind of in your feed or anywhere that's talking about why your vote doesn't matter, know that that is an outside influence, and know that the opposite is true. And if you see those things, affirm to yourself, I matter and my vote matters.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So, of course, today in New York is the last day of early voting. You can find out more information for your particular state or region. If you want to know about your polling place or location, check out and use any one of these resources, which will point you in the right direction. Vote.org, IamAvoter.com, WhenWeAllVote.org, BlackVotersMatterFund.org, and FairFight.com. Another thing that we're going to be doing as it relates to the vote is Election Day prayer. Election Day prayer will happen on Election Day this coming Tuesday, and you'll be able to connect into the stream and into the vibration at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., or 6 p.m. And so Pastor Yolanda, myself, and the prayer champions will be holding the high watch, holding the high vibration, knowing that free and fair elections will take place, knowing that safety will take place, seeing and knowing that everyone is protected above our head and below, at our side, at our, in front, below, in front, all over, all around. Right? And we stand in that absolute knowing, and we are excited and honored to be able to provide that support. PY and I were laughing and remarking yesterday because there's a whole lot of prayer going on. On OWN, Oprah, they're going to be leading prayer
On Monday.
On Monday on TV. There are a lot of churches that are leading prayer this week and on Election Day. And so we know the truth of the principle where 2 or 3 are gathered. There I will be in the midst of them, right? Where 2 or 3 agree on an idea. That idea takes on momentum. That idea becomes real. That idea becomes possible. That idea inevitably manifests. And so we're grateful to lock arm in arm with those that are speaking, affirming, and knowing the truth that all is well and all will be well, as it is expressed in, through, and as this election cycle.
Yes, yes. And we know that as we pray, we hold those individuals that have been working nonstop during the early voting and will be working on Election Day. We definitely hold them in prayer.
Absolutely, absolutely. And because we believe in the power of prayer, if you have a specific prayer request, you can send that. Send that to prayerchampions@celebrationsc.org. It goes to the 2 of us as well as all of our prayer champions. And we take that, we hold it, we pray, we know the truth, we affirm, we see you moving through it, we see you being victorious, we see that, we live in that. And so know that you are not alone. And know that when you send that prayer request, it is an affirmation that you are not alone. Finally, we hold prayer every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., the Momentum Prayer Call. And so after Election Day, feel free to join us that morning at 7 a.m. The phone number is there on the screen, and the playback number is there as well. So if you can't make that time, if it doesn't work with your schedule, by all means, use that playback number. You can listen to the most recent prayer 24/7 at any time, wherever you are.
So many ways to pray this coming week. I love it. I love it. So many ways to affirm the truth. So many opportunities to replay it in whatever form. On Election Day, you can put that on loop and just keep playing it over and over.
Yep.
Wednesday, play that for the rest of the week. We are so excited because we know the power of prayer.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's see, I think. Oh, we have one more announcement. That's right. God Talk, third Sunday, every Sunday. This is your opportunity, particularly for those of you that are new and just joining us. We love the God Talk because it is a wonderful opportunity to ask questions. This is something that usually doesn't happen in spiritual circles, right? You just have to take it at face value or just be confused. What we know and believe is that these principles that we teach, these metaphysical principles, these universal laws, new thought teachings, only work when we can actually apply them to the real things going on in our lives. We also recognize how many of these teachings have been weaponized and misused. And so sometimes we have taken on these teachings and then it became something that we beat ourselves up with, or why am I not measuring up, or why can't I do this? And one of our joys is supporting you in seeing those things differently, healing, and bringing clarity to the principles, so that it is a tool for love and nothing else.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And we realize that by creating this forum, this opportunity to come together on the 3rd Sunday of the month, especially in these times, it gives us an opportunity to engage in another way. It gives us an opportunity to be in and be witnessed and to be listened to, and to allow love to respond. So we love God Talk Sunday.
Yes.
And we are so glad that we followed the leanings of Spirit and it said, create this thing.
Yes.
And we said, yes.
Yes. So in order to participate in the God Talk happens in Zoom. It doesn't happen here on Facebook or YouTube. And so you need the Zoom link and password. The only way to get that is to be on our mailing list. So again, if you are not on our mailing list, and again, for our first time guests, here's the information. Again, text the word welcome, nothing else, to 347-472-1078. And we'll add you to the mailing list, and you will, it's in every email. So you'll have that information and can connect in, because it's an awesome thing. So with that, I think it is time for meditation. And PY is going to lead and guide us so beautifully into that space.
Well, it is a new month. Happy November. I saw someone posting that. It is a beautiful opportunity to realize and recognize a new idea, to remind ourselves of the truth. This month's theme is I am one with all that is. And as we witness all of our individual bodies coming to the poles, we remember that we are one with this power that creates change, that uplifts and inspires, that motivates, and that takes this country and this world to another level of enlightenment and empowerment. I am one with all that is. I'm not separate in my story, isolated by my events. I'm connected to something. I'm connected to truth. I'm connected to ease. I am connected to peace. And so as we move out this week, we've got to remember that and keep that in mind. I am one with all that is. So let's bring ourselves to this moment, knowing that where we are in our bodies and experience is okay. Knowing that where we are in our homes, we are safe. So find a comfortable seat, whether it is upright in a chair, on a sofa, upright in your bed. Go ahead, look around you, and settle in to what feels good and reminds you of safety. And as you settle in, close your eyes and remember, I am one with all that is. And when we close our eyes to the external experience, we bring ourselves to the realization of this one power, presence, and life force. So let's take an opportunity to just notice from the inside how it feels and how it feels to be connected. Connected to each other and connected to the truth of our very being. Each of us, individualized expressions, breathing right where we are one with all that is. Notice the breath here and now. Notice how it is flowing. Whether that breath is deep or what appears to be shallow, it is moving. It is flowing. And you are connected to the breath and to the source of that breath. Take a few rounds to just notice. To feel. To relax. And to go to God. Beautiful. Now, let's take a little more conscious control of the movement of the breath, a little more conscious control in the way that we relax, a little more conscious control that we are connected to this power and to each other. Bring your focus and your attention to the low belly now. Breathe into the low belly. Inhale, breathing in. Expanding the low belly, deep in the low belly, filling up the low belly. Hold it there. Open the mouth and release. Again, inhaling into the low belly. Hold it there. Open the mouth and relax the jaw and release. Moving that energy and breath, inhale through the low belly, now up through the rib cage. Hold it there, expanding the front and the sides and the back of this body. Hold it there. Now open the mouth, relax and release. Connecting low belly to the rib cage, expanding, inhaling up. Hold it there. Now open the mouth and let it all go. All of the thoughts, feelings, anxiety, and worry now. Sending that breath in through the low belly, up through the rib cage, now making its way to the heart. Hold it there. Expanding across the chest, creating a new set point, a new reality. Open the mouth and release. Again, in through the low belly, all the way up through the heart. Connecting root to heart, power to healing force. Hold it there. And release. This time, inhale through the low belly, up through the heart. Close the lips and exhale when you're ready through the nose. Notice the sensation of an expanded, elongated, relaxed breath. Take a few rounds here. I am one with all that is. I am one with the power that moves in, through, and as me. I am one with the energy that creates change. I am one with love itself. Last round here. Let's take this energy of a relaxed breath. Take the momentum that we've created. Take the knowing that now fills every cell and move it into our feet. Relax the feet. Maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes, or maybe lift and lower the feet, the ankles, whatever feels good to release the tension on the feet. Surrendering the feet, energy gathered. Now let's move together that energy and relax the ankles. Now. Sending energy now up the shins and the calves. Relax the shins and the calves. As we surrender, we see the energy in our mind and feel it in our body, moving across the knees. Relax the knees. As this energy cannot be stopped, we allow it to move across our thighs, relaxing both the hips, the glutes, and the thighs. Now. I am one with the energy that flows so present in me now. I am one with those gathered here. I am one with every aspect of reality. Energy gathered at the base of the spine, we imagine, we open, we allow it to travel up the spine, activating the subtle body, opening each chakra, spinning as they vibrate and we vibrate together, balanced, open, and available. Energy travels up the spine, up, 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 out the crown of our heads as we are open channels. Energy flows out the crown, gathers above us all, unites us all, here and now. Breathing in and out, nice and easy. Each breath relaxing the body more, opening us to insight and inspiration, because we are connected to all that is. As the energy now travels back down through the crown, activating our intuition, opening our throat to say what is ours to say from a place of truth, flowing down our shoulders, relax the shoulders, down the arms, and out the fingertips. Relax, turning the palms up to ground, up to receive, and down to ground. See the energy flowing through your body, through your experience. And as we make time to go within more deeply, I will monitor the time. You take the inward journey. If the mind wanders, it is okay. When you become aware, bring it back to this thought: I am one with all that is. Make room and allow the one mind to be your mind now. with our eyes still closed. We inhale and exhale more deeply with our eyes still closed. We enjoy the sensation of being connected to the one mind. We enjoy the sensation and the experience of this month and the energy of this month, the insight that it brings, with our eyes still closed. We remember our true self, our whole, perfect, and complete self. We are one with all that is. And as we begin to make our way back into our bodies, nice and easy, maybe we bring our palms together, creating energy, and allow that sensation as we rest our hands on the tops of our thighs, the feeling, the heat created. Maybe we rub the thighs, cross the knees, stop the movement and inhale, drawing the shoulders up by the ears. Inhale, nice long breath, and release the shoulders back and down. Inhale, drawing the shoulders up and back and down. One more time. Inhale. Nice and easy, shoulders up by the ears, and easily allow them to relax back and down. Bring palms together now at heart center, pausing to notice as we lightly touch the thumbs to the sternum, creating that connection between the heart, bowing the chin towards our fingertips, honoring the time that we gave ourselves. We are one with all that is. There is nothing that could prevent or block that connection. We go forth this week in the energy of the one mind, knowing that we are safe and guided, and more importantly, loved. Slowly flutter the eyes open, taking in a point on the floor in front of you. Soft gaze. When you're ready, inhale, raise the chin in the gaze. Namaste.
Namaste. Beautiful, powerful, powerful, powerful. So we are going to hear from Soul 21 in just a little bit. But before we hear from Soul 21, I want to share the description for this month's series. It's November. It's a new month, which means there's a new series. And the title of this month's series is What Is Mine to Do? In their classic song, Wake Up Everybody, the prolific architects of the sound of Philadelphia, Gamble and Huff, remind us that the world won't get no better if we just let it be. Hiding behind spiritual platitudes, a misuse of positive thinking, and retreating to the safety of their mostly white worlds, many in the New Thought movement have failed to embody the wisdom of those words. Simply put, they failed to embody the full truth of what it means to be one with God, one with nature, and one with all humanity. Now, acknowledging the failures of the past is an important step towards healing, but we cannot stop there. This moment in history is our opportunity to answer the call that fell on deaf ears decades ago. How will we respond to this moment? How will we embody the spiritual philosophy that we love and practice? How will we do our work and show up for humanity? The answer starts by asking ourselves one simple question: what is mine to do? This month, we will lean in and listen for the ways that Spirit is seeking to be the answer through us. When we listen, all things become possible. And so I'm going to be speaking this morning from the topic, the construction crew. But before we get into that, let's hear from Soul 21.
There is a foundational truth that we teach and we affirm and we repeat over and over again in this teaching we call New Thought. That what we know as God, what we refer to as God, it is omnipresent. And when we say that it's omnipresent, what I like to say is that God is constantly encountered. If we are deep in the valley of depression, anxiety, or problems, source is right there. If we are in the joy and elation of some good news, source is there. And that's important because particularly when we are experiencing things that are unwanted, it appears that God couldn't be there. But it's because God is everywhere present that we're able to shift any circumstance or any situation. And so as I was reflecting on that and this idea of the omnipresence of God, there is no spot where God is not, I just began to think about all of the ways and places that I find this thing called God. And one of the easiest places that we can go to find the divine is through our breath. Every time you breathe in, you are literally breathing in God. Every time you breathe out, you are literally breathing out God. And as I began to contemplate that, this song came. And so we're going to affirm this truth that we always find God. We always find God. From the simplest place of breathing to the rivers, the seas, the mountains, the trees, I always find you. With every breath that I breathe, I always find you. I always find you. In the rhythm my heart beats, I always find you. I always find you. Find you. Find you, I always find you, oh find you, I always find you, with every breath. With every breath that I breathe, I always find you, I always find you. My heartbeat, I always find you. I always find you. I always find you. I always find you. Put your hand on your heart and feel God. Find you. Find you. Find you. Find you. Find you. Every breath I breathe, in the rhythm of my heart, I always find you. In the beauty of the trees, I always find you. I always find you. I So it is.
Yes, yes, yes. Can we shout out Soul 21 in the comments, because it's because of the continued year in and year out dedication of Soul 21 and all of the rehearsals and time that we have spent together, that we have all of this amazing, powerful content that continues to support us as we are worshiping and celebrating from home. Please, just in the comments, yes, yes, shout out to Soul 21. I of course, personally appreciate each and every one of you and your loving service, and how you continue to take this music and make it even greater than what I originally heard in my mind. Well, good morning. Happy Sunday. It's still morning. Good to be here with all of you. We shared the description for the series that we are beginning today, What is Mine to Do? And as I was thinking about and preparing for this message, one of the things that I'm really grateful for are all of the teachers that have come into my life and all of the people that have shaped my life and influenced me in varying ways. And one of those people, one of the most towering figures in my life, is my pastor, my childhood pastor, who is the person who he married my parents, christened my sister and I, baptized us. He's the one that when I wanted to learn to play, he's the one that prayed for and anointed my hands. And that's the late, great Bishop Bowens, my pastor. And I was reminded of something that he used to do. Anytime when the doors of the church were open, which was several times during the year, for someone to join the church. And whoever was ready to join the church, they would come forward, and we would sing, and he would ask them a few questions, and then he would give this speech. He gave the same speech every time. And he said, I've been a pastor here quite a long time. And what I've learned is that we have two camps here in this church. And I want to know which camp you're going to join. Because you see, I have a construction crew and I have a wrecking crew. And quite honestly, we already have enough people on the wrecking crew. We have enough people that are tearing down the church, or not supportive of the church, or not being a beneficial presence of the institution. But we never have enough people on the construction crew. And I'm wondering if you're willing to join the construction crew. And that story and his voice and hearing him tell it, it became sort of tongue in cheek because he would use it all the time. We expected it. But it reminded me of where I think we must begin this series as we're talking about what is mine to do, and where we must begin as we are in a critical moment in U.S. history, and really we are in a critical moment, an unprecedented moment of human history. And one of the things that's interesting to me is that when we look at history, when we look back at other pivotal moments in human history, we recognize that there was a right side of history. And there were those that were on the right side of history and those that were not. That may not have always been clear in the moment, but for us, from our vantage point, we can see clearly. And sometimes we question, well, I don't understand how they could have allowed that to happen in their time, right? And here we are with an experience in our world that there are people 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now will be looking back and saying, I don't understand how they allowed those things to happen in their time, or better yet, I don't understand why they didn't choose the right side of history. And so I believe that pivotal moments require us to choose a side. But when I talk about choosing a side, I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican. I'm not talking about liberal or conservative. But like my pastor, Bishop Bowens, I believe that these pivotal moments, like the times we are living in today, ask us to choose between the wrecking crew and the construction crew. And so as this series is built around the question of what is mine to do, before we can ask this question, we must first join the construction crew. We must make a declaration to the world that we are choosing to be part of that which is constructive, part of that which is uplifting, life-giving, beneficial, affirming, supportive, nurturing, forward-thinking, inclusive, and on and on. And so I'm curious, we're going to talk more about what the construction crew is all about and why it's necessary. But if you're ready to join the construction crew right now, give me a yes in the comments, or whatever you want to say. I'm a part of the construction crew. I'm joining the construction crew. I'm a member of the construction crew. Because again, we are in a pivotal moment in human history. We are in a pivotal moment of U.S. history. And what's required before we can even lean in and ask and hear and receive the answers to the question, what is mine to do? It first requires us to join the construction crew. And in the context of where we are today, because this is the last Sunday before Election Day, many of us, we've all been voting, and early voting is happening, and we're seeing record numbers, and it's powerful and wonderful and amazing. Before we know who the next president is, we have to make a choice today to join the construction crew. Because this is what will give us guidance and direction no matter who's in the White House. This is very important. As I said, the construction crew we are then being a part of that which is constructive, uplifting, life-giving, beneficial, affirmative, supporting, nurturing, forward-thinking, and inclusive. And so we have to join that crew and make a choice and a declaration today that we are going to be a part of the construction crew, because that's going to guide us no matter who's in the White House, even if it's 45, right? Now, why do I say that? I say that, and it reminds me of a story. There's something that PY and we laugh about all the time. I think it was about 8 or 9 years ago, we decided to do a 10-day juice fast. And it was near the end of the summer, and we had a trip planned. We went to West Virginia to visit her family. And so on that trip, we ate everywhere and everything that we could eat, because we knew when we come home, we're going to be doing this 10-day juice fast. It was perfect because we were away for almost a week. So there was no food in the fridge. We went to the grocery store, bought a bunch of organic fruits and veggies, loaded up the fridge. We had just bought this new juicer that I was so excited about. And we started our 10-day juice feast, is actually what we called it. And, I was excited. I was in charge of doing the daily juicing. And, it was wonderful. We were making different kinds of juice combinations. And then at the end of the evening, we would have a fresh nut milk. And it was wonderful. Well, we got to about day 3. And I still remember that morning, again, as I was in charge of the juicing, I'm doing my normal thing. I'm pulling out the veggies, and I'm washing the veggies and getting everything ready and cutting up certain things so that it would fit through, the apples, so that it would fit through the opening there on the juicer. But I really wasn't feeling it. And I was like, oh my God, we have 7 more days of this. And I stopped what I was doing. I turned off the water. I turned to PY, and I said, Yolanda, I said I'm doing a 10-day juice fast, and that's all I'm doing is a 10-day juice fast. And we laugh about this all the time, but there's something very powerful about that story. Because what happened in that moment, although I wasn't feeling it at day 3, and I wasn't excited about it, I had made a commitment. And so in that moment, what I was affirming was, I have committed to something, and so I'm going to see my commitment through. So this is why I say it's important that we make a choice and a commitment today to be on the construction crew, because we don't know what's going to happen a few days from now, or a few months from now, or a few years from now. But it will be that commitment and that choice that we made that will allow us to see it through, because we made it through the 10-day juice fast, and it was feast, and it was wonderful. It was great. Once we got to day 10, I was like, I don't really want regular food. I'll just drink juice again, right? Because we had created a habit. We had created a pattern. But it's because we didn't say, I'll try to do a 10-day juice fast. We didn't say, oh, let's see if we can do a 10-day juice fast. See, that's not what we said. We made a commitment. Y'all know what Yoda said, right? Do or do not. There is no try. So we weren't trying, and we also weren't living in the we'll see, right? Hoping and wishing, right? And so the opportunity for us now, the reason why it's so incredibly important that we say today, I am joining the construction crew, it's because it creates a commitment. And that commitment is what supports us in staying the course no matter what happens. Your chosen candidate could flip the script, right? But what did you choose to do? You chose to be in the construction crew. And I love that word commit. It's a verb, right? And there's something interesting in the definition. As I dug deeper into the definition, one of the root words for commit, it comes from Middle English, committin, meaning to give trust in or to delegate authority to, or to engage in. And I particularly like that idea of delegating authority to, because that's what I did with that 10-day juice feast. I made a commitment, and so then that commitment became my authority. And so even though I wasn't feeling it, the authority and what I had given power to is what took over and what had the reins and supported me in moving through whatever I was feeling on that day. It reminds me of what we read in Scripture, without a vision, the people perish. But you've heard me say many times that if you dig deeper into the meaning behind that text, a better translation would be, without a vision, the people cast off restraint. Meaning that the vision is the thing that is like a commitment. The vision is the thing that's like a choice. And so then the vision is the thing that keeps you going even when you don't feel like going. The vision is the thing that keeps you moving forward even when you're like, I don't know if I can move forward. The vision is the thing that keeps you taking another step when you don't think you can take another step. And so I would add another layer to it and say, without a commitment, the people have no direction and no guidance. And we want to ensure that we have commitment and we have direction and we have guidance. So that is why we must make the choice today, before the ballots are tallied, before we're at the end of this pandemic. We must make a choice that I am a member of the construction crew. And when we make that choice, it's very important, because there's so many other things that happen. If we think about, once we are a part of the construction crew, in the context of the upcoming election, then we understand that our engagement doesn't stop on November 3rd. Yes, yes, hello, somebody. We recognize that if we are part of the construction crew, every election cycle matters. If we're part of the construction crew, then we're clear about what policies we are for. If we are part of the construction crew, then we will hold and be clear about how we will hold every branch of government accountable. The executive, the legislative, and the judicial. If we are part of the construction crew, then our state and local elections matter. Because as we look at the injustice that took place in Kentucky, and we are disheartened and heartbroken over the injustice related to the murder of Breonna Taylor, we recognize that the Attorney General of the state of Kentucky, Daniel Cameron, was elected. And so now it reminds us that we need to be a little clearer about who and what and who the hell we're putting into these seats as state attorney generals and as district attorneys, because these are the ones that are then, he literally chose not to even bring any charges against the cops that murdered Breonna Taylor. This is fact now. This has come out. This is fact now. Those that sat in the grand jury have been able to share that information with us. So much so that there was an uproar amongst the jurors, because they were like, what in the world? We don't even get to charge these officers? And so we recognize that that directly comes from an elected official. If we're part of the construction crew, then our engagement matters. It's also interesting because with the construction crew and the wrecking crew, unfortunately, there are some people that are engaged in voting this cycle, but they're really on the wrecking crew because all they care about is removing Trump. And if you don't know it already, that is, as Senator Cory Booker kept saying when he was running in the primary, he said, removing Donald Trump is the floor, not the ceiling. Why? Because Donald Trump is a symptom and an effect of a much deeper problem in America. He made use of something that has existed. Right? He didn't create it. It's a wonderful article in the Times that talks about that. And so it's important that we understand that if we're just focused on getting rid of 45, we might only just be a part of the wrecking crew. But the construction crew is fully engaged in the process. What else does the construction crew look like? And why is it important that we, as spiritual people, are choosing and making that choice right now to be on the construction crew? Well, because of the dual pandemics that we're moving through, COVID-19 and systemic racism. The choices that we make matter. And we understand that and we think about that if and when we're on the construction crew. There's a heartbreaking study that has just been released recently from Stanford University talking about the Trump rallies. And it says that there's a study that was conducted by 4 Stanford University economic researchers. They determined that 18 Trump campaign rallies, the bulk of which took place over the past summer, ultimately resulted in more than 30,000 positive COVID-19 cases and have likely led to more than 700 deaths. The choices we make matter. And when we're on the construction crew, we understand that. We understand that in the midst of this pandemic, there are places we want to go, but there's places we can't go. We understand that in the midst of this pandemic, there are things that we may want to do, but we just can't do them right now because our choices matter. Our choices matter. Now, of course, 45 is a part of the wrecking crew, right? No regard for human life, even the people that he wants to vote for him. Doesn't care. We, of course, saw that play out even more in this past week. But it goes further. Because the Centers for Disease Control has been sharing with us that while compliance has been really high in public areas, right? We're masking up, we're practicing physical distancing in public areas, but our guard is being let down at home. And so what we're starting to see is one of the big reasons for the rise in cases right now that we're experiencing is small gatherings. Because there's the sense that if I know you, then I'm safe, right? But that's not how COVID-19 works. You know, it's November. We're moving into the holiday season. Thanksgiving is one of my beloved times of the year, particularly to see my family and spend time with my family and spend time with my niece and nephew and my sister, my brother-in-law, my parents, my aunt, right? We're not going to Maryland for Thanksgiving this year. Right? We've been talking about we'll zoom in and connect or something, right? But because we're on the construction crew, we do something different this year, right? Our choices matter. And these are the things that we start to think about and we start to act from in the context of this pandemic. And then when it comes to systemic racism, right, are we on the side of the construction crew? I was watching on the news yesterday a portion of a debate with Susan Collins in Maine. And when asked directly, does systemic racism exist in her state, she said no. I was kind of flabbergasted. You know, maybe systemic racism doesn't exist in her state to her knowledge, but as a senator, recognizing that the choices and the things that she votes for affects the entire country, she had an opportunity to acknowledge what is a reality throughout the country, but she was unwilling to do that, right? Unwilling to acknowledge that it exists or that it's a problem within the United States. But if we're choosing to be on the construction crew, when it comes to seeking justice, if we're choosing to be on the construction crew when it comes to ending systemic racism, there's a few things that we would do on the construction crew. One, we would be willing to listen. On the construction crew, we would have a willingness to ask questions. On the construction crew, and I know that many of you are participating in the Love Lens with Pastor Yolanda and her powerful sisters, there would be a willingness to sit in the discomfort. And I know that they're guiding through that process in such a beautiful and loving and kind and patient way. But that's part of what's required in the context of being on the construction crew and wanting to be a part of the answer, right? Wanting to be a part of ending systemic racism. Sit in the discomfort. Choosing to be on the construction crew would be a willingness to heal and reconcile. It would be a willingness to join. Pastor Yolanda and I was sharing with her one of my favorite interviews with the great theologian James Cone. It came out of some other conversations that we were having, but there's something that I love, and I told her I was actually going to share this last week. Something that I love in this interview is James Cone with Bill Moyers, and he was talking about the symbiotic, inescapable, inextricably linked relationship that white people and black people have in this country. And James Cone said, if anybody is brother and sister to the other, it's black people and white people, because there is a tussle there that you can't get out of. It's deeply ingrained in our relationship to each other in a way that it's not with anybody else. You can't let each other go. I don't care what you do. And so that's why there must be a willingness to heal and reconcile. There must be a willingness to join, because we are joined. Right? There's this symbiotic relationship that there's this recognition consciously and unconsciously that the world and the nation that we enjoy doesn't exist without the labor, skill, brilliance, and genius of black people. That's a fact. But at the same time, these same people have been subjugated, killed, lynched, enslaved. And there needs to be a reconciliation for that. I mentioned Caste by Isabel Wilkerson a week or so ago, and there was something that she shared in the text that was so remarkable to me, that in 2 years it will be the 246th anniversary of independence for the United States of America. At that point, the United States will have been independent for as long as it enslaved Africans. 1619 to 1865. 1776 to 2022. And so we have this deep history that we have to acknowledge, that we have to heal, that we have to reconcile. And it requires us to join. And that, again, the construction crew, what did I say the construction crew is all about? First of all, constructive, right? Putting things together. That's what the construction crew does, right? But it's uplifting, it's life-giving, it's beneficial, it's affirming, supportive, nurturing, forward-thinking, inclusive, and on and on and on. The other thing when I think about the construction crew, and there's so many wonderful examples of the wrecking crew and the construction crew in the daily news cycle. And I'm laughing, it's not a laughing matter, but when we're on the construction crew, when we think about voting, we vote beyond whatever our individual needs are, right? So we saw people like 50 Cent. We saw and hear people like Lil Wayne, and Kanye West, right? 50 Cent, although he has now pulled his endorsement away, was very emphatic about the reason that he was voting for 45 was because he didn't want to pay more in taxes as a wealthy individual, right? That's some wrecking crew thinking. Right, we can start to talk about it that way too. We think about thinking that is constructive, right? Thinking that's affirmative, right? Is my thinking constructive? Am I operating in construction crew thinking, or am I operating in wrecking crew thinking? This is a wonderful litmus test that can support you as you're making choices or trying to decide what to do or how to show up in the world, right? That's wrecking crew thinking. And what's interesting, that has nothing to do with even his ethnicity, right? as in a black man, he still couldn't see, he couldn't put it all together. Construction crew thinking that, one, I can afford to pay more in taxes. Two, what is that money going to? Oh, that's going to slash student loans for people. That's going to allow low-income families to not have to go into debt to try to send their child to college. Like, you'll be able to go to community college for free, and in many cases, tuition free at public universities. That's what this money, this extra money that I'm putting in. Oh, okay, that makes sense, right? Oh, more people will have health care. Someone like 50 Cent, again, based on his net worth, will never have to worry about paying out of pocket for health care or having adequate health care. But there are some people that's not their reality, and he can help and support and change that. That's construction crew thinking. And so I want to leave you with this and bring us back to something that it's been playing over and over in my mind, and I've been thinking about almost all year, because the 2016 presidential election was a surprise for many of us, right? There are some that weren't shocked, but it was definitely a surprise. And I remember so much of what I felt that next morning, and I shared that. You can go back on YouTube to the sermon that I gave the very next Sunday after Election Day in 2016. And the message was titled, "Keep Your Heart Open." And the heart of what I was sharing in that sermon was the idea that when something as shocking and as terrible as that event was, when something like that happens, many times our knee-jerk reaction is to close up, right? I can't say that I'm surprised in terms of how the presidency is unfolded, right? I was clear that it would be a criminal presidency. I just thought that the rest of America understood that, and so that's why he wouldn't be elected. But I also recognize that instinct within us all to close in that moment, and that's what I wanted to do, right? It's just like, I can't even say certain words, but just you're like, forget everybody. You know what I'm saying? Y'all crazy enough to put this man in office, right? And so I was encouraging each and every person to keep your heart open and to understand why. And I anchored that sermon on 3 points that are still very valid in this moment for where we stand today, 4 years later. I said, 1, God doesn't have a plan. 2, God responds to our plan. And 3, God is the how of our plan. And so, as I said, what I said then holds true today. We don't wait on a plan from God. This is why we have to choose. This is why we make a commitment today that I'm choosing to be on the construction crew, that I am a happy, loving, card-carrying member of the construction crew. We make a choice and a commitment, and what happens? God makes use of the pattern of our thinking. And that pattern of our thinking is the mold that is filled by God's substance. See, that's New Thought 101. That's Principle 101 right there. So many people, and what I said in that message, so many people are, at that moment, oh, well, God has a plan. We don't know what God is up to. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And that's not what we know to be true. That's not what we teach. Metaphysics 101. Our thought creates the mold. God, life, God's substance fills the mold, any mold, which is our pattern of thinking. And so that's why we must create the mold today of construction. We must create the mold today of that which is affirmative. We must create the mold today of that which is life-giving, that which upholds these truths to be self-evident, of that which is inclusive, of that which is forward-thinking, right? Of that which is nurturing. We must create the mold today. And what happens? God fills the mold over and over again. Because you see, choosing to join the construction crew is a choice that is fueled by hope. It is fueled by faith. It is fueled by love. And God is the how of this choice that we make. We recognize that as we make the choice, life always fills. Life always provides. Life always supports. We make this choice knowing that it is fueled by hope, faith, and love, and we trust. We trust in the principle that tells us that the tendency of life is always towards the positive pole as we are choosing to be on the construction crew. We trust and we know and we hold true to that principle that says that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We hold and we trust and we know the truth that we support the bending of that arc through our belief. We support the bending of that arc through our expectation. We support the bending of that arc through our inner knowing, through our inner faith, through our inner hope, through our inner seeing that says that a new day will come, that says that we will have a world that works for everyone, that says that everyone will have health care, that says that we will combat climate change, that says that we will become a loving nation. We hold and we know and we trust this truth that reminds us that this nation, this world, life itself is a cosmos and not a chaos. We support the bending of that arc of the moral universe through our choosing to join the construction crew. We choose to join. We choose to join. And so with that, I invite everyone to just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We breathe in love. We breathe out love. There is only one mind, only one power, only one presence. Only one life, and that life is my life now. Only one good, and that good is my good now. Only one freedom, and that freedom is the free feeling that I feel within my being now. This truth is not just true of me, but it is the truth of all beings. It is the truth of you, my sister, my brother. It is true of all of my human family. And as we sit in the reality and the recognition that God is, and we sit in the reality and the knowing that we are one with God, unifying our heart, our mind, and our soul with this truth, I now speak this word in faith from that knowing. We are members of the construction crew. Right here and right now, we are setting a marker in time. And by setting a marker in time, we are creating a pattern of belief and expectation that God's substance must fill. And from setting this marker in time right here and right now, we are saying that no matter what takes place outside of us, no matter what our external eyes show us, no matter what happens in the halls of government, we are choosing to be on the side and about the work of that which is constructive. We are choosing to be about the work of that which is affirmative, that which is inclusive, that which is forward thinking, that which is supportive and nurturing. No matter what we see outside of us, that is the choice we are making. And as we make that choice, we recognize that that choice is magnetic. We recognize that that choice is attractive. And so as we sit in the power of that choice, we begin to attract and we begin to magnetize to ourselves other like minds and individuals as we organize around the idea of the beloved community, as we organize around the idea that we can create a world that works for everyone, as we organize around the idea that healthcare is a human right, as we organize around the idea that we have the power, capacity, and capability to combat climate change and to create a healthy planet for future generations, as we organize around the idea that we can have peace, as we organize around the idea that we are one human family and what we do, what one group of people does affects another. We organize and we magnetize and we attract. And it is from this place of willingness that then we will lean in and ask the profound question, love, what is mine to do? It is from this place that we will ask this beautiful, life-giving question, love, what is mine to do? And we will lean in and listen, knowing that God, spirit, life, love will begin to whisper visions to us. Will begin to whisper guidance and direction to us. Will begin to show us who we really are when we allow ourselves to be operated in, through, and as spirit. So I am so grateful and thankful for every member connected right here and now and in the future who have made a choice to join the construction crew. Because it is out of that choice that we will transform this world. It is out of that choice that we will heal divisions. It is out of that choice that we will absolutely create, live in, and enjoy a world that works for everyone. So it is with joy and thanksgiving that I release this prayer, knowing it is good and knowing that it is done. Together we say, Amen, Ashe, and so it is. So it is.
Yes, yes, yes.
Woo!
Whew, I am energized and ready to be, as I have said, a member of the construction crew. No more allowing my thoughts, my actions to destroy, to disrupt in the negative, but to create and to construct in the positive. It is so, so important that we remember this and ask the question from love. Ask love-based questions. Love, what is mine to do? The moment you ask, you set in motion the possibility of receiving the answer, because if there is a problem, there has to be a solution. We are going to be part of the construction crew that brings about the solutions.
Yes, yes.
We are so grateful for each of you, for your knowing, for your joining us, for us joining together, for the vibration that we create every week, week after week, for the ways in which you show up in your life, asking love and responding to what love says. Do.
Yes, 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 yes.
Thank you, PG. We are all on the construction crew.
Yes, yes. Oh, well, it looks like y'all are feeling it. We are all of one mind.
Yes.
And it's powerful, the world that we are creating now and the world that we will experience. So in this moment, it is time to prepare for giving. And so whatever that looks like for you in whichever mode you choose to give, you'll see the information here on the screen. I will continue to say it each and every week that it's very simple how we talk about giving here. Right? It's really not that deep. There is a law of circulation. There is a law of reaping and sowing. We see it. It exists in the plant and animal world, just as it exists in our human world and beyond. What you put in, you get out. Right? And so it's important then the energy or the type of seed that you're giving. In the sense of giving money, it's not about the amount. So it's not, oh, I gave $100, so I'm going to get 10 times that. I'm going to get 100 times that. That's not what it is. Because money is neutral. So money in and of itself, not the number, but the vibration behind the giving, right? When we give in fear, we're planting fear seeds. When we give out of shame or guilt, we're planting shame and guilt seeds. Now, law of reaping and sowing is clear. The seed you put in, I don't care if you intended to have oranges. If you put apple seeds in, you're going to get an apple tree, right? That's the other thing. This is because it's law, right? It's your intention. Then, well, I thought I was. No, this is why we want you to check in. Find your joy number. Find that place of joy within you as you give. And so whatever the amount is, then the seed that's really being planted is joy. The seed that's really being planted is there's more than enough. The seed that's really being planted is my income is a resource, not the source. The seed that's being planted is that I'm giving from a well that don't run dry. The seed that's being planted is I may have gotten down to a little, but it's always replenished. And so we begin to give from that place. Then those are the seeds that you plant. Then guess what's going to show up in your garden? That's what's going to show up in your garden. And so we are so grateful for each and every one of you because we know the intention that you're giving from. It's evident by your lives. It's evident by the ways that you're thriving. It's evident by the ways all the good is showing up in your life. And so when we give from this place, when we give what feels good, and when we plant the seed with that knowing, then we can absolutely affirm that all the money that I use,
returns
to me multiplied.
Returns to me multiplied.
In a never-ending cycle.
In a never-ending never-ending cycle
of increase
and
enjoyment.
enjoyment.
Yes, I give my love, more love comes rushing back to me.
Yes.
I give my time, more time's available.
I hear
to
it
me.
in my mind. Do y'all hear that?
I give my treasure.
Yes.
Doors are opening for me. As I give, I receive. Yes, it's all coming right back to me. Coming right back to me. Y'all know it. It's going to be so great when we get to sing that all together
I hear
again.
it. I see it in my mind.
Yes.
Cannot wait to join with you again in person.
Yes. So as a reminder, we have Election Day prayer. It's happening at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be streaming. If you're connected now, it'll be streaming in just the same way on YouTube and on Facebook. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't done that. Subscribe to YouTube and or Facebook because you'll get a notification. It'll pop up CSC is live, Election Day prayer, and you'll be able to tap into the vibration. The videos will also be available. So if you're needing to connect in between those times, you can go to either one, to our YouTube channel or to our Facebook page, and you'll be able to tap into the prayer. We again are happy, excited to be a part of this vibration of prayer and this vibration of knowing and locking arms with just our human family all around the world.
And as part of the construction crew, if you know someone that is in need of being reminded on Election Day, share that video, that Election Day prayer video with them. That's also construction crew activity.
Yes. So please know that we love you all, and we are just looking forward to celebrating more with you. I'm really excited about this series because I think there's a lot, of course, a lot happening. And so when we ask this question of what is mine to do, right, there's an opportunity for us to get busy, to get in, as our elder John Lewis says, to get in good trouble, right? But we want to make sure that we're listening to the leanings of spirit, and not thinking we're getting in good trouble, but listening to some other voice.
Just to the ego.
Right. So I'm looking forward to digging in a little deeper. Join us for Election Day prayer. Join us for Wednesday morning prayer. And if we don't see you then, of course, we look forward to being back here with you next Sunday, 11 a.m.
Yes.
All right. We love you. Enjoy your day. We're going to enjoy the rest of our day.
Are.
All right.
Love
Bye
you
for
all.
now.
Bye for now.